when I think RLC Spectraflame, I think of cars like this, that look like this, cars like the RWB Porsche. And to tell you the truth, I think I actually like this one more than the RWB Porsche.
And it's just because, honestly, I'd order them all if I could. But you got to draw the line somewhere. my bank account does end.
What you're saying is put a new logo on every single car and you'll have this sucker buying every single one.
Just keep doing what you're doing, Jordan, and I'll keep buying them. Welcome back to the Diecast Podcast, episode number 4. My name's Matt from Mini Car Realm. Of course, I have my favourite co-host along for the ride, Boy Racer Ben. How are you, mate?
Good, mate. Number 4. That's a bit of a milestone.
It is. That's the furthest we've gone.
It is, absolutely. What was our goal? I think our goal was to hit 6, wasn't it?
Something like that, yeah. I think I heard a stat. I heard a stat once recently, actually, that most podcasts don't make it past 3 episodes. So we are winning at this thing. How's things been, mate? You been well?
Doing well, mate. Yeah, opened quite a few new Diecast cars today for a few Instagram reels. So
Nice.
Feeling inspired to talk about Diecast right now. Let's do it.
Nice. I feel like your channel has been popping lately. I feel like you've been releasing just about every day. It's been going off.
I've been cracking a lot of Diecast. I think it's time. Everyone that's into the racing, we're going to crank up the racing soon. Hit the racing pretty hard.
You heard it here first. I reckon every reel that you put out, somebody comments, "Where's the racing?"
100%.
They miss it.
So,
they miss it.
Come next couple of weeks, we should see a new tournament in the play.
Oh, very nice. Something to look forward to. I like it. Very good. Well, let me just take a small break here and just say I'm enjoying this podcast with you, Ben. But we are not the only Diecast podcast. A shout out to the OG Diecast Podcast, Diecast Breakdown. I believe you were on their show at one point.
Yeah, Diecast Breakdown. Great show. I still watch it to the day, as I know you watch it as well.
I do. I do.
I think after we started chatting when we initially met, you messaged me one day and said, "What's going on, man? I just listened to the episode of Diecast Breakdown that you were on." So I had no idea I was even on it until you started listening to it. Great show. 2 passionate Diecast collectors. I think they've just lost one of their hosts recently, but very passionate Diecast people, and that's what we're about as well. So shout out to Diecast Breakdown.
I think there is still 3. I think there's just one that gets caught up with work all the time.
Okay.
But I could be wrong on that. But that was just my gathering. But yeah, it's usually Chuck and David, I reckon, usually. And then there's a third that joins them occasionally. But anyway, it's great listening to them. They were kind enough to shout us out in one of their recent episodes, which was very nice of them. But if you haven't checked out their channel, please do. Diecast Breakdown. They do a lot of great interviews. I was listening to one that you released this week with Amy Boylan. Some would say the godmother of the Hot Wheels Redline Club, the creator, the founder of the Hot Wheels Redline Club. It was a fascinating interview. She's a fascinating woman, quite a career in not only diecast and toys, video games, but also the automotive world. Was the president of Shelby and Saline and a few good companies like that. So yeah, fascinating interview talking about her new brand of diecast that she's bringing to the world, Kilo Wheels. So I won't take away the boys' thunder. If you want to go and check that out and hear more about all of that, then by all means go and have a look at that episode. But it was really interesting episode. I really enjoyed it. I actually picked up the kids. I picked up the kids from school this afternoon midway through listening to it, and I was so engaged with it that I was like, shh. Look, I'll talk to you when I go home. I'm trying to listen to them, but I ended up having to pause it because they want to talk about their day. You have to prioritise these things.
Yeah, and like you said, we won't ruin the story, but It
No,
sounds like a really interesting concept that Kilo Wheels have got
mm,
coming out. So yeah, go
it
check out
does.
the latest interview from Diecast Breakdown.
Absolutely. And speaking of the Red Line Club, still going strong to this day. Uh, what have you? What have we seen since the last podcast?
So there hasn't been a lot in just general premium releases, but we have seen a few Redline releases, and I know one that sort of slipped by you, the Jaguar E-Type. I think we
Yes,
were talking about this just a couple of minutes ago before we started, and you had absolutely no idea about this release.
zero. This is the first I've heard of anything to do with it. I've completely missed it. I still don't even know if I believe you, but we'll run with it.
Well, there you go. The RLC Jaguar E-Type still available for purchase. So we've got a pop-up hood. It is in a nice blue color,
Mm,
detailed interior. Was retailing for 79 Australian dollars, I believe, plus postage. So,
wow,
wow, yeah, a little bit up
it's a
there.
big price. It must have. I mean, the detail does look pretty up there, as in number of parts and things like that. Must contribute to the price, I presume.
Yeah, it had quite nice packaging as well. They went a little bit all out on the packaging as well. For me, yeah, a hard pass just on the price. A few of the details as well. The wheels, I wasn't a huge fan on the wheels. The wheels were lacking, sort of got those wire wheels lacking a little bit of detail. But yeah, obviously quite a steep price point. I'm not picking up all the RLCs at the moment, so for myself, I passed on that one. Yeah, and clearly you passed on that one as well, not knowing about it.
I didn't even know. Yeah, I still, I don't know how I missed it. I really don't. But so, is it an actual RLC?
It is an R. I don't believe you need the RLC membership, but you need a Mattel membership to purchase this one. So, I
Right.
mean, yeah, it is just, I believe it's a Hot Wheels, so it's a,
Yeah, so it's through Mattel Creations. Yeah,
yeah, it's a Mattel
yeah.
Creations car.
Still, yeah. The amount of times I've been on the website, I missed it. I just didn't see any marketing around this at all. I can't
I
believe
must
you're
admit,
the man to break this news to me.
there wasn't a lot of advertising, not a lot of chatter about this one, so almost slipped by
Yeah.
myself as well. But yeah, I did see it a few days out. Unlike the Elite 64 BMW that you've been watching, did you pick that one up?
Yeah, mate. The minute this arrived on the Australian website, we had a more friendly time that it dropped here in Australia, and I grabbed it straight away. I was pretty keen on that. I think we briefly discussed it when we were talking. I think Lamley had it in his showcase of Elite 64 cars, so we knew it was coming, and I was pretty keen on that one. I do like a classic livery, motorsport livery.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, classic white BMW with the light blue, dark blue, and red racing stripes. You've got looks like a
Mm.
net in the window, roll cage, and yeah,
Yep.
racing body kit, sort of 80s style.
Yeah, I really like that. It's a very classic BMW livery, real wide body kit on these cars as well. But yeah, no, I grabbed it straight away. It was weird though because I grabbed it and then I posted it on our page, our Instagram page, as well as my own Instagram page, just saying, especially for our other Australian collectors, that hey, this is up on the Australian Mattel Creations page for purchase, but a few others went to purchase it and it had disappeared. And I thought,
Yeah, right.
did I actually purchase it? Did that actually go through? But yeah, I received the receipt to say it was that it had gone through okay. And yesterday I got the notification that it was shipping, so it definitely went through. But they must have had a very limited quantity here in Australia or something like that, and but it didn't even show sold out. It just disappeared completely off
Disappeared,
the
right.
Australian
Yep.
site. So yeah, I don't know if there was a mix-up perhaps with the time that it dropped. It did actually drop in Australia prior to the US release, so I don't know whether that was a mistake. But I think the R32 Pandem, I think they did the same thing. So
Yeah, I
yeah,
believe ours drop prior. But yeah, obviously a lot more limited in numbers what we receive here in Australia.
hmm. Mm.
Um,
I
as you know,
did.
for myself, I don't pick up the Elite Six fours, too many of them.
Mm,
I've got a couple, but yeah, the BMW again, not down my line of collecting, so I gave that one a
yeah.
pass.
I did actually throw in the cart one of the new. It's not Lego, but I forget the name for it. But the Hot Wheels, let's call it Lego, that they've brought out. Brick Shop. I'll say Brick Shop, Brick something.
Yeah.
Anyway, I threw one in. I just want to see what it's. I want to see what it's like. It's not diecast, but I'm just keen to see what it is.
Was it a F1 car?
No, I
No.
bought
Okay.
the NSX. I reckon.
Okay. Yep.
I think it was the NSX. Now I'm really testing my own memory, but yeah, I think it was the NSX.
Yeah, I won't be touching any of the Lego. I'm purely sticking to the diecast 164
Fair,
collecting.
fair.
Yes.
No, I my son loves Lego, so I thought it might introduce him to something that is with a Hot Wheels flavour.
Yep.
Maybe we can cross over.
Yeah, yeah. Funny that my son absolutely loves Lego as well. That's unfortunately Lego's his go-to, not diecast cars.
You never know. Maybe it'll change one day with enough
Maybe,
influencing.
maybe.
There was another RLC. We spoke about it pretty extensively on the last episode. The
We
Nova.
have yeah, some would, I think some people that have been watching us would almost say that we've been raving about this one out of all the RLCs that have been up and coming. Obviously, after the disappointment of missing out on that teal blue RLC RWB Porsche, still feeling the pain from that one.
Certainly am.
But yeah, we have the Chevy Nova in that amazing Spectra Flame purple color with the removable front hood.
When we spoke about it, we were both pretty keen. We were both saying that we were going to pick it up, more than likely going to pick it up. But I haven't asked you this yet.
And I
Did
haven't
you?
asked you. However, I will make a prediction. You put it in your cart and you saw the price again and you said, I don't think I can do it. Is that what happened?
No.
No.
That's not
There
what
you go.
happened. That's not what happened. What happened was I put it in my cart, and I also added the Ford GT
Ooh.
because I
Ooh.
thought I thought I thought, look, at least I can minimise the pain of the postage with two cars instead of just one. And I looked at the total price of the cart, just about fainted. Thought, geez, that's two cars. That's a very high price. So I removed the Ford GT and I bought the Nova.
Okay. Perfect.
How about yourself?
Well, personally, so it got to about 10:30 at night and RLC drops for me here at 1 a.m. And I
Yep.
thought to myself, I really want this car. I'm not waiting up for it. I'm tired. I'm going to sleep. I'll check it in the morning. If it's there, I'll purchase it. And as we spoke about it on the last podcast quite extensively, my theory with RLC collecting, scalper wise or hardcore RLC collectors, yeah, the Chevy Nova was still available. So same thing, put it in the basket the next morning and yeah, purchased it straight away. It did cross my mind to chuck the GT40 in there as well. Obviously with to minimize the postage damage.
Mm.
But yeah, just looking at the price, I think it was sitting at $89 for the Chevy Nova plus postage. So I left it at that and yeah, pretty stoked to be getting this one to tell you the truth. Absolutely love it.
To be honest with you, I didn't touch on that, but I also did not stay up and wait for it. We're a few hours in front of you here, so I think it would have been around about 3:34 a.m. in the morning, and I just thought, nah, I'm not. I'm just not going to stay up for it. It's just too late or too early. I could have set an alarm, I suppose, but I just thought, nah, I'll see how it goes. If it doesn't sell out, I'll buy it. If it does, well then I missed out. But it didn't. So yeah, similar to you, did not wait up, but got lucky nonetheless. I don't know whether it's sold out now, but
It
yeah,
no, it's still not sold out.
okay, interesting. I'm
Maybe
actually surprised.
by the time this podcast drops. Look, we had a
Could
chat
be
about it last week, and I don't think the Chevy Nova is a car that you'll be able to purchase and then sell for a high profit. So I think that scared the scalpers away. And obviously, being such a
true.
highly priced car, it leaves it just to the hardcore collectors, the people that really want this car. And to tell you the truth, as we talked about last week, I don't think there's a lot of other brands that make a good Chevy Nova. Obviously, American Muscle, massive drag wheels. They look insane on the back. Just
They
the
do.
stance of the whole thing. It's sort of reminds me of I feel the Chevy Nova is the closest to a Holden Monaro in terms of a US car. So I think that's
Mm.
one reason why I like the look of it too.
Yeah, it's very similar for myself. Big reverse cowl on the front. Yeah, it's a tough looking thing, and exactly what you said there. The reason I purchased it is because it's not something that you can just go and buy in a ton of other brands. In fact, off the top of my head, I don't know anyone else that's doing, Chevy Novas like this. And I'm certainly, there might be someone from the US that's listening to this and go, "What? There's a ton of, diecast
Yeah,
manufacturers
yeah,
over
yeah.
here that do it." And that may be the case, but it's certainly we don't see as much of the M2s and brands like that over here. They're certainly not as popular as they are in the US. So yeah, Hot Wheels is a little bit more accessible.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, when I think RLC Spectra Flame, I think of cars like this that look like this, cars like the RWB Porsche. And to tell you the truth, I think I actually like this one more than the RWB Porsche. Still
Wow.
disappointed I missed out on it, but I think I like this one more. I like the color more, and I just like the look of the car. You know, it is. This is what RLC means for me. Everything about this car is RLC for me.
Mm.
And I don't think we're going to see a better color. When we get another release of the Chevy Nova, I don't think we're going to see a better color than this Spectra Flame purple. So that's why I was
Mm.
more than happy to pick this one up, especially.
Yeah, it's not the first Nova that they've done in the RLC range. I think it's like the third or fourth, but the first in this style. The last one that they did, off the top of my head, was like a Spectra Flame blue with some retro red or orange lines on it or something like that. And it was done in more of a drag car. I think it was raked from memory. And even that, I quite liked that. I didn't pick one. I didn't get one. But it was quite nice. So I was pretty happy to get my hands on this one and add a Nova to the collection.
Yeah, nice. Nice. Oh, well, something that we've both agreed on. Something we don't always do, but we have agreed today. So that's a positive.
It is. It is.
Mhm.
If from the world of Mattel, they also something else that caught my eye was Matchbox. Now I'll be
Yep.
honest, Matchbox doesn't catch my eye too often. I usually see it there on the Mattel Creations website, and I have a bit of a look, but it's very rare that I look twice. I usually scroll on by. Matchbox has never quite done it for me. This is the first time that I clicked on it and it actually had a pretty close look and really seriously considered purchasing it. It hasn't released yet, but it will have by the time this episode airs. And that is the 1987 Nissan Skyline GTS R. I just really liked the classic motorsport livery. Again, that's probably what drew me to it. But a different car than what you would usually see from Matchbox. You don't see them doing a lot of JDM, and you don't see them doing a lot of racing liveries either. So unique for them. What was your thoughts?
Look, my thoughts on the Matchbox Nissan Skyline GTS are, I do like the livery. I've got a very similar one in an Inu 64 model. It's actually a Bathurst
Yep.
winning Skyline.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, do like the livery. However, I look at a car like this, no moving parts, no opening parts,
It
and
does. It does. It
It
has an opening
does.
bonnet. Has an opening bonnet.
Mm, there you go.
Yeah, caught me by surprise as well.
It looks very standard, doesn't it? It looks like it would sit on a like a Hot Wheels card and a standard premium Hot Wheels card.
Correct. That I looked at the price, and don't quote me on this, but I think it was in the 40s, possibly 50s AUD. And look, it does have that opening bonnet, which I sort of had to scroll through a few pictures before I got to the point where it's got the opening bonnet. And look, you can see the RB20 in there, which is nice. But even the detail of the engine, and even just the detail around the lights, the rear lights and things, I sort of noticed, and I just thought, oh, for that price, like even just comparing that to the Nova that we just spoke about, very different levels of detail. And I just thought, I don't know, and I thought exactly of that, that is, a much more detailed model. I think I've got that, as well, or at least I've definitely seen it. I might even have it in the collection. But yeah, I just thought, well, do I need this one? I don't have any Matchbox to date, so I don't think I'll start.
Yeah, look, like I said, Hot Wheels do a R31 Skyline as well, very similar to this, and I could almost picture them doing that livery on that Skyline and putting it on a premium card that you can get for $8 as opposed to about $50. So obviously,
Mm.
yeah, the opening hood adds a little bit of value. I think this one will be sitting on the Mattel website for a while as well at that price point.
Yeah, I think so. This might sound pretty harsh to say, but it almost feels like, and I know this is not the case because Matchbox does different castings to Hot Wheels at times as well, but it almost feels like Matchbox used the worn out castings that Hot Wheels have discarded, because it starts lacking that crisp lines that you would potentially see on some of the Hot Wheels stuff. So anyway, yeah, that's the one thing that's always, there's a big fan base out there for Matchbox, but I've always, we see them on the shelf here in Australia and in supermarkets and things like that, the moving parts range, and they did a few Australian cars like the Australian Commodore and things like that. But I just, yeah, they've just never grabbed me. But yeah, there is a big fan base out there, and I'm sure there'll be some people that'll really dig the Nissan Skyline. But I think I'll pass.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, I think, this is going to be the for the collector, the passionate collector that likes Matchbox cars.
Mm.
Not for people like us. But yeah, like we said, nice livery, looks good. Just when we compare it to something like the Australian car that looks very similar, um, obviously similar price points, a lot more detail. That's what we're going to go for.
Yeah, one thing I think that Matchbox do really well to really sort of give them a positive spin is they do a lot of cars that, or yeah, because they don't just do cars, but yeah, they do a lot of things that other brands wouldn't do. Car models, and things that no one else does. So for those that like to pick up the odd stuff, then Matchbox sort of fills that gap.
Yeah, absolutely. And I will say, as a young kid, it was Matchbox for me. It was Matchbox back in those days, as opposed to Hot Wheels. I think we've almost reversed. Obviously, Matchbox never did the fantasy cars, which is, I think, why I always liked them, even as a young kid. But yeah, obviously, Hot Wheels has stepped up the game a lot since those old days, and now I prefer Hot Wheels over Matchbox.
Mm, mm. Do you still have any of the toys that you had? The cars that you had as a kid.
Unfortunately, I don't. Like I said, I was more Matchbox. I have
Yep.
managed to find one or two Matchbox cars that I had as a kid and purchased them. One was a police four-wheel drive. I don't know what country it's from, but it says, Polizzi on the side.
I reckon I had the
Um,
same one. It's like
the
green with a
white,
white roof.
white and green, that exact
Yep.
one. We'll have to find the
I
picture
had
and
the
pop it up.
same.
Um,
Yep. The
so
same
I,
car.
I have managed to
That's
find
so
that
funny.
yeah, I found that at a swap meet, so I now have that back again. I had a little white tow truck from Matchbox. I haven't managed to find the same one in that color. So I think it was white and orange I had, but I found a different color variant. And there is one car that I remember having as a kid, and it was just like my pride and joy. I think it was a Matchbox, but I was quite young, but it was a Ferrari 250 GTO. I've looked and looked for Matchbox 250 GTOs, and they did make them, but I was trying to line up the dates and figure out was it old enough, and I haven't managed to find the exact one yet. Um, so yeah, how about yourself? Have
There
you
you
got
go.
any of your childhood
I
Matchbox
I
Hot Wheels
do.
cars?
I do. I have one. And there's a story behind that. I went recently, well, actually, it was a year ago now. It was actually the last Australian Diecast Expo in Sydney. I took my son with me, and of course, my family live over there, and we went to go visit my mum. And while we were there, my mum pulled out an old box of toys for my son to play with. And he pulled out a few Hot Wheels and Matchbox cars that I had when I was a kid, and he sort of brought them over to me because he knew I'd be interested in it. And one of those was that Matchbox 4-wheel drive with
Okay.
the green with the white roof. And I said, "Oh, I remember this." But funny story, we get back to my hotel room, and my son is emptying his pockets, and he has taken one of the cars
Yeah.
with him, and it was a Ferrari. And I said, "Oh, did you take that from Grandma's house?" And he said, "Yeah." They were yours, weren't they? And I said, "Yeah, but they're not mine anymore. That Grandma uses them when other kids come over and whatever else, the grandkids and all that sort of thing." Did you ask Grandma? Nah. I said, "Well, you should have asked. You shouldn't have just taken it." But anyway, we weren't going back to Grandma's house after that, so it stayed with him, and it came back to our house. And at one point, he was doing a clean out of his room or something. He said, "Oh, well, this one's yours, Dad. Do you want it?" And at first, I thought, "No, I don't want it," because it's pretty beat up. I thought, "No, I
Yeah.
don't want it." But then I thought, actually, nah, give it here. I'll keep it. Actually, I'll put it in the collection. And I'll leave it exactly as is. It's one of the few main lines that I've got. But that was a Hot Wheels. That was a Hot Wheels one. But I'm actually blown away that we both had the same. That police car must have been a popular model.
Must have been.
But anyway, no, it's good. What would you say was the first? Do you remember what car you bought first when you started collecting?
As in when I first got back into collecting. I mean, I was never a collector as a kid, so I guess, yeah, when I started
Yeah,
collecting,
as an adult.
which
As an adult.
was probably 3.5 years, 3.5, 4 years ago. I think I actually bought this set before I started collecting, and it sort of sat dormant for possibly a year until I ripped it out for my son to play with. But it was a Fast and the Furious 5 pack, mainline 5 pack.
Yeah,
Trying to
right.
think of trying to think of the cars that were in it. I know it had the Monte Carlo from Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift.
Yeah, okay.
I
Yeah, yeah.
think it had the Skyline in it, the R34, Brian's Skyline from Too Fast, Too Furious.
Yep.
It had a Chevy Camaro, a blue Chevy Camaro in it, and I can't remember the other two cars. I'm sure there's plenty of people out there that know the other two cars that came in that 5 pack, but they were the three main cars that I liked the most out of that 5 pack. And that's, I guess, where it slowly started. An early purchase, and I sort of remember ripping them out for my son and thinking, wow, like these $2 cars, these are pretty cool. This is, you know, driving them around, pretending to drift in them, as a
Yeah.
grown man.
Yeah. and that's obviously you eventually purchased more and started the content creation thing, and the rest is history.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. How about yourself? What was the first car or cars that you purchased?
Yeah, so I think I've told you before, but I collected a lot of 118 scale for many years, right through my teens and 20s.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I had that collection right up until I was 30. When I was 30, my first son was born, and they all got packed up and put away in boxes. And I've never been the sort of person that stashes everything away and just stores them for the future. I've always wanted to have them on display. For me, that's the part that I really enjoy, is being able to walk into, you know, an office or a collector's room or your garage or whatever it is, and just admire them, you know, admire the collection. And so it didn't cut it for me, but there just wasn't room in the house to keep this fairly big collection of some nearly 500 odd 118 scale models. And so I made the decision to sell them. And my wife was saying, don't sell them. Like, you really enjoy collecting these models, and you know, this is years and years of collecting. But I said, no, look, I'm growing up now. You know, I'm a dad.
Yeah.
It's time to sell the collection and, you know, get a mortgage. So I sold them, and I didn't collect anything for a few years. And as my kids grew up, of course, you know, we were in the toy aisle one day, and I was never really, you know, if anything, I used to look down on 1/64 scale collectors, like, as if you collect those with so little detail, and, you know, they're pathetic compared to my 118 scale. There's, you know, just ridiculous amount of detail. So I never really was interested in, you know, your typical main. But of course, I bought them for the kids. You know, bought Hot Wheels cars and things like that for the kids, and really just thought of them as a toy. And one day I was in the toy aisle buying some Hot Wheels cars for the kids, because they were both pretty into their Hot Wheels cars, especially as youngsters. You know, they had the tracks and all those sorts of things. And I saw Premium for the first time. And the very first set that I bought was one of those twin packs. And I can't remember the exact models that were in it, but they were two old school racing American muscle cars, which was a bit out of the ordinary for me, because I've always been more into my JDM and Euro stuff than potentially the American muscle stuff. But I appreciate all cars, and I just really liked the racing liveries. Once again, the classic motorsport liveries on these old school American muscle cars, and I just was fascinated by the riding on the tyres and the fact that they were rubber tyres. And I remember bringing it home and opening them, and I put those two cars on my desk, and that's where they stayed for probably 4-5 months. And I can't remember what I bought next, but it was all Hot Wheels for probably 6 to maybe not 12 months, but definitely 6 months was, you know, when I started buying. But what really kicked it off was I went on leave, and it was a similar sort of time of the year to this, where we're leading into Christmas. Went on leave, went away on holidays, and, you know, it was one of those sort of places where you're you know, pretty remote, and it's good for going down for a fish and things like that. But the weather wasn't that great at the time, and so we spent a lot of time in the cabin that we were staying in, and I spent a lot of time surfing the internet. And when I came home from that trip, I think there was about 17 parcels waiting for me when I go, and that was it. From there on, I just bought and bought and bought, and the collection just grew. And my knowledge of other brands obviously grew as well as I became exposed to those, and the rest is history.
Absolutely nice.
So yeah, it all starts somewhere for everyone.
So one of the other brands that you love, one of your favorite brands, Mini GT, they've just released another set of 6 new releases.
Yes.
You want to run us through them?
Yeah, so obviously their November release, there was a Corvette, which I believe is a new casting for Mini GT, in a nice bright yellow. So that was the ZR1. It's quite nice. They had the BMW M5, the latest model M5, in the Alpine white. There was the Bentley Batua, I believe it's pronounced. I might be wrong on that, in the green. And then, of course, they had a Nissan Skyline GTR. That was the 34, which I believe is also a new casting for Mini GT. That particular casting. And then they had the Nissan LB Super Silhouette S15 Silvia. So this one was with the Mini GT Liberty Walk 2025 Formula Drift livery. So I've bought a fair few of these as they've released them. So this is certainly not the first. So of course I wanted to continue with the releases there and grab that one as well. So I ordered that one. I ordered the R34, and much to your surprise, there was also a Volkswagen ID Buzz, which I don't know about you, but I think these things are really cool. This is not a new casting for Mini GT. I haven't purchased one yet, but legitimately in real life, not just diecast, I see these things around at the Volkswagen dealership not far from me, and I drive past it fairly often, and I always look at these vans and go, God, they're cool. They're just obviously they're supposed to remind you of the old combis, but I just reckon they're cool. Anyway, this one has a pretty out there livery and reminded me of here in Australia we have those wicked backpacker vans, and this kind of reminded me of almost like a graffiti style, on the van. And so I pre-ordered that as well. I just thought it was something different, and I wanted one in my collection. So that was the 6 from Mini GT. Anything catch your eye?
Look, it's funny you talk about the R34 because I wasn't actually aware of this, and I was looking at that R34 thinking, why do I like this one so much more than every other R34 that's been released? And I just could not put my finger on it, and that makes perfect sense. The fact that, yeah, if it's a new casting, it looks twice as good as the previous casting. Because I was looking at one of my other ones that I just picked up, the Bayside Blue one, and thinking, why does this grey R34 just looks so much better? I think it's got a different hood now that you mention it, doesn't it? It's got sort of the Z-Tune hood on it.
Yeah, I believe so. I think it's the Nismo version.
Yeah, okay, well,
And I think also the fact that it's in that gunmetal grey is what does it for you.
hey,
You do like your gunmetal grey.
the R32 in gunmetal does it for me, not so much the R34.
Okay.
However, yeah,
Okay.
it does look good, so I'll be picking that one up. The only other
Nice.
one I was tempted to, I'll have a look at it. Maybe the BMW, the M5.
Yeah. Okay.
As long as it's
I
not, as long
was,
as it's
I
not
was
electric
semi-tempted
or a
with that one.
hybrid. Yeah,
Yeah, I don't believe so, but I could be wrong on that. I'm not
yeah,
super up
I'm
with the
not.
latest.
Yeah, latest old BMWs, yes, but the newer BMWs they don't quite the front grills and the lights. They don't do it for me like the old BMWs did it.
Yeah, no, I totally get it. There's a few that I still really like. I really like the M3. I think they did a really good job with the design on the M3. The M5 I'm not so sold on, but I almost pre-ordered that one as well because I just thought it would be a nice addition, and in that classic Alpine white as well. You can't go wrong with that. But anyway, I did pass on the Corvette, the Bentley, and the BMW, and it's just because honestly I'd order them all if I could. But you got to draw the line somewhere. my bank account does end. So
Look, and
yeah,
thinking about it, I'm going to pass on the BMW because if I'm not loving it, I'm not getting it, and I'm not loving the S15 either, a Liberty Walk,
okay,
so I won't be getting that one either.
yep, wasn't your thing.
Not my thing. No, no, absolutely not. We've got a
No,
couple
fair
of
enough.
exclusive cars coming out from the Essen Motor Show in Germany.
Mini GT and Kaido House. So Mini GT dropping the Porsche 911. So not a new casting by any means, but a pretty cool livery. I forget what they call it, but it's basically all black with orange wheels and orange highlights on the mirrors and some stripes down the side. Even a orange highlight on the wing as well. So it looks pretty cool. So certainly those going to the Essen Motor Show in Germany. I'm sure we'll see Johnny's Diecast will certainly highlight these when they drop. Yeah, looking forward to seeing more of that. If I get the opportunity to purchase it, I probably will. I reckon it looks pretty good. I won't pay stupid money for it. Yeah, it is certainly a good looking release. Sometimes they're like ridiculously good, and you're like, oh I've got to have that. And then other times I go, oh yeah, like oh well, like glad I'm glad that's not a
Yeah.
regular release because I've got zero interest in that one. But I really like the Kaido House release as well. Of course, another German car, the BMW. I really liked the livery on this one as well. Obviously, the German flag colours. So that's that's sort of where that comes from. Great big BBS logos down the side and on the bonnet. So yeah, if I get the opportunity to purchase it at a decent price, I will grab it. If I don't, I won't cry. But certainly for those that are, especially Germans that are going to the motor show, it's a pretty cool car. Really, sort of laid out with the German flag colours. So yeah, what was your thoughts, mate?
Look, I'm not huge on the Kaido House. I don't mind the Porsche 911. The orange highlights, they do pop. Looks good in black. Bit of carbon fiber around the place, not too much. Like you said, being in Germany, I don't think we'll see too many of these pop up on AliExpress. So the only way is if one of the shops managed to get hold of them and bring them over. But yeah, I don't think it's a car that I'll pay excessive amounts for. And I think if we get them here, they will be at a slightly inflated price. So I think I'll probably be passing on the Porsche and definitely on the Kaido House BMW M3.
Is the Kaido House, you just don't like the livery?
Yeah, the livery doesn't do it for me. If I was German, I'd probably like it. But I think just the colors. Look, I think black, yellow, and red just it's giving me 80s vibes all mashed in together. I know the vibes that you like, that's what it's giving me. So yeah, that's why I'm passing on it. As well
I
as
think
the new
I think
release from Kaido House, we've got 4 new ones. We've got another BMW, a green one with a big, massive Kaido House slapped down the side, which I'm not a huge fan of when they slap Kaido House all over the cars. So I'll pass on that BMW too, the green one.
you don't like that either.
I'm not big on the big lettering down the sides, especially Kaido
Yeah,
House.
okay.
If it was, if it was a
Actually,
different kind of lettering, I'd consider it.
I know you've said that about other brands as well in the past to me, so I know that's not just a stab at Kaido.
It isn't. It isn't.
That is definitely something that you've said to me before that you're not a huge fan of. With a couple of other brands that I've seen them really put such a big stamp down the side. But look, I was pretty pumped with this Kaido House release. I know that probably doesn't come as a surprise, being that I do like my Kaido House, but this one in particular, I was pretty excited about. Look, the green BMW was probably my least favourite. Really, it's just a re-release of the blue one, but it's great.
It is.
So, that's probably my. I was least excited about that one. I still think it looks really nice, and I'll still grab it. I definitely still pre-ordered it. I was really excited about the new casting, the Kaido Star, finally released. I know you're a massive fan of the Kaido. You would obviously be grabbing that one. Tell me though, because we've spoken about this extensively on the podcast. Tell me though, do you think that it looks better now that it's actually released than perhaps some of the molds and things that you've seen in the past?
I will admit it. It does look slightly better. However, the Kaido racing style in general, where they put those massive, because they do it to cars, they put those massive lips on the front, exhausts out the back. The style itself isn't what I'm into, let alone a car that is just, I don't know what car this is based off. It's not actually based off any real car.
It's not.
So I've said it before, but if they were to create this Kaido Star in a real one-to-one version, it'd have more credit in my books. But yeah, I'd be staying far away from the Kaido Star personally.
I believe they have. It doesn't quite look as sleek as what this one does, but he's definitely got a Kaido Star look-alike. He's done a car that with a similar sort of kit on it.
Yeah.
Great big front lip like this thing's got.
I mean, we all know
sort of colours.
We all know Jun is a former Hot Wheels designer. There was a Hot Wheels car that he designed, and I have got the Hot Wheels car. I showed it to you, and I can't remember the name of it. It's left my mind right now, but we'll get a picture of it up.
Bazooka or something like that. Yeah, I know the one you're talking about.
And it
Very
looks,
similar.
it is. I mean, it was his car that he designed with Hot Wheels. It's a fantasy car, so it could be I'd like to know the story behind it, to tell you the truth. It wasn't one of his favorite designs, and that's why he's decided to do it, because it does look very,
Maybe.
very, very similar. But still, it's not going to change the fact that it's a fantasy car. That's you. That's what you're into. It's not what I'm into.
Look, I think that what I really like about it is it is obviously a nod to that Kaido style. I don't know. While it's not a specific real car, I could see, an old Crown or something along those lines get turned into something like this with a big kit. But I don't know. I think it's cool. It's got that sort of shark nose, which that shark nose that it's got on it reminds me of Liberty Walks' recent R32.
It does. Yeah.
Body
I
kit.
know. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
The big zigzag exhaust, just reaching for the sky. It's very much. There will be a fan base that really likes this thing, and there will be a fan base that really hates it, or not hates it, but it's just not for them. But yeah, I'm looking forward to actually seeing, having one in hand and seeing it in person. And I really like, this is the first time we've seen it. That it's not just been in a mold color. We've actually seen it with a livery, and I like what they've done with it. I think it looks quite good. What did you think of the other two, mate?
On a side note, the Liberty Walk R32. Do you think we'll see Mini GT recreate that one?
Already have.
I think, have they? Okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
Already have. Yeah, it was released as an exclusive for, I can't remember what it was for, but it was for something. They've already done it. But I believe
with the big lip on the front, hey?
I believe so.
Okay.
I believe so. I could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure it has been. I'm sure someone will correct us. But anyway, yeah, I'm 99% sure that has. And if it hasn't, and I'm wrong, it won't be far away, I'm sure.
I'm sure it won't be. The Toyota AE86, the Torino, purple and black. Is this the first time we've seen it with the wing on the back?
It is, yeah, big GT style wing, yeah.
Yeah, definitely don't like that. That's for sure.
You don't like it? Okay.
Don't like the wing. It's very similar to the Elite 6.4 Hot Wheels one.
It is actually. It is.
The wing is very similar.
Yeah.
Didn't like that one, and that was sort of one reason that I moved away from the Elite 6.4 one. Not huge on the purple and black, so yeah, I'll pass on that one. I think I've mentioned it a few times that I'll just stick with the original release from Kaido in the 86, the classic black and white.
Release. Yeah. Look, I'm with you. I do prefer the small lip versus the large GT wing, but I do like this one in the fact that there's a few little Easter eggs. The Kaido House logos are new Kaido House logos on this model, which have not been seen before. So something a bit different. And I did read on when they released it, and they were saying that they've actually got the names of the Kaido House team in the rear quarter windows, which is kind of cool.
Anyway, what you're saying. What you're saying is put a new logo on every single car, and you'll have this sucker buying every single one.
Just keep doing what you're doing, Jordan, and I'll keep buying them. And of course, the last one there was the R34 in the Flow yellow. And
yeah, it looks like someone got their yellow highlighter out and coloured in the Kaido House.
a tennis ball. I'm a big fan of this Flow yellow. They brought it out on the Silverado early on, and if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong on this, but I believe that 510 wagon, the green chrome one, my understanding is that is also Flow yellow, but chromed.
Okay. Yep.
That's what I'm led to understand. I could be wrong on that, but that's what I'm led to understand. Which was a big hit. I think you even copped that one.
Yeah, oh yes, the Chrome one. The Chrome one was a big
Yes.
hit. That's probably the best. I think I called it today on a real release because I just opened it. Probably my favorite Kaido wagon. I do like the HKS Kaido wagon as well, so it's
Yeah.
torn between the two. This Flow Yellow, I do like it. It looks good. However, I cannot stand the. I've been a bit harsh on Kaido House today, but I cannot stand the R34 body kit that they put on this thing.
You don't like it?
Yeah, I don't like the body kit on the R34, the Kaido House R34. This one in particular, yeah,
Yeah, okay.
it's
I
too wide
think
for
this
me. There's too much going on.
R34. Yeah, okay. No, look, that's fair. I think this R34 is probably one of my favourites in a while from Kaido House. I think it wasn't. It might have been the last episode that I said, look, I don't know how many more liveries they can do on the R34, but this one came out and I went, well, there's another one, and I like it. So, yeah, no, I've ordered all four as I usually do. They'll all be coming home. But yeah, looking forward to how many Kaido stars they do, different liveries, etc. Be interesting.
Well, yeah, I'm sure they'll do about 20 of them, so don't you worry about that.
Did you see the bonnet pops? Obviously, did you see the massive turbo
I
sitting
haven't
under
seen
it?
it. No, I
Yeah,
haven't looked
okay.
that close at it.
You'll
So,
have to have a look. Huge thing sitting under the under the bonnet. All right, mate. Let's move on to one of your favourite brands, Pop Race.
Pop
They brought out a
Race.
few new models.
Yeah, four releases from Pop Race just recently. We've got the RWB AE86. We'll come back to this one because I know you've got an opinion about it. You haven't told me what it is, but we'll circle back around to the
I
AE86
do.
RWB. We've got
Mm-hmm.
the Lamborghini Center Center. How do you pronounce it?
Centenario. Centenario, I think it's
Centenario.
pronounced. That's how I say it
Yep.
anyway, rightly or
This
wrongly.
one, this one is in a full carbon body with red highlights. I will pick up one of these Lamborghinis. However, I have talked about
That's their
car.
first casting of that Lamborghini.
It is. It's a new
Yeah.
casting, new tooling. So this is the
Yep.
first one we've seen. I've talked about it before. I'm not huge on the carbon fiber bodies. I think it's been a little bit overdone. I will pick one up, but I probably will pass on the carbon fiber full body, as I do
I'll
for most
wait for a
carbon
different
fiber.
colour.
I'll wait for a different color in this one. We've got the Lamborghini Countach, the LP1. This is in an orange with black highlights. Opening hood and opening engine cover at the rear. Don't mind it in orange. I have got it in a red already. So I don't know how many different color variants of this one I'll pick up. So I'm sort of undecided still.
Yep.
But it is a nice casting. I've got it in red. It looks really good. I think the orange looks really good as well, but not my favorite car just in general. And I have got a lot of supercars already, so I'll wait and see whether I pick this one up. I might only get one more color variant, so whether it's orange or not, I'm not too sure.
Okay. Yep.
Followed by the Porsche Singer DLS Turbo. I haven't got one of these castings yet. They've done it in orange, and I think they've done it in another color as well. Um, have you picked up this casting at all?
No, I haven't. I've seen it a few times, and I really like what Singer do with Porsche. And I think Pop Race have done a few Singer
I have, yeah.
variations, but I haven't picked up any of them yet. I haven't picked up any Pop Race Singer castings. Every time I look at them, I sort of and ah and go, "Oh, is this the one?" But nothing's really grabbed me to the point where I've ordered them. I don't know why. I don't know why they look quite good. But yeah, anyway, it just hasn't. There's always been something else that has caught my eye over the Singer Porsches.
Yeah, look, this one, the DSL Turbo, I think it's just a car that doesn't really catch my eye straight away. Hence the reason I haven't picked a casting of it up yet. I think I will get one example, and the blue does look good, so it may be this one, but we'll see. Yeah, not one that I'd get multiple colors in.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
not definitely not my favorite releases that I've seen so far. However, let's circle back to the RWB AE86. This is another new casting, new tooling.
Mm,
I think the casting looks great. What
does.
are your thoughts?
Mate, I was pretty rapt when I saw the pop race drop because you'd spoken to me about this RWB A86 before. I think you even showed me some of the molds and things that had sort of been released. When I saw it, obviously, finished, I was filled with envy. I wanted to pre-order it straight away. I really, really like what Pop Race have done with this thing. I think it really looks good. And I really like it in gold. And the reason that I really like it in gold is I watched it, well, not that long ago, I watched a Larry Chen video. He was at, some motor show somewhere. And I forget the gentleman's name who had built a gold AE86. In fact, he'd built two of them, but they looked really good. After the video, I ended up going and looking up his Instagram page and perving on a few more pictures of these gold AE86s. They just looked really, really good. I really liked them. And as soon as I saw this, it reminded me of those same gold AE86s. So, yeah, I pre-ordered this straight away. I was pretty keen on it. Can't wait for it to come through now. It's yeah, I'm really, really impressed with this casting.
Yeah, look, the gold, maybe I'll have to check out the video, but I'm not drawn to the gold straight away. However, the casting, the body kit, the rear wing, I reckon the engine's going to look incredible. I think the
Mm.
casting's amazing and the body kit that they've put on it looks awesome. And I'll 100% be picking this one up because I definitely don't want to wait for another color to come out. And I'll definitely be getting multiple color variants of this AE86, the RWB. So yeah, I think it looks insane.
Yeah, look. I reckon, and I haven't done this, but I reckon if you Google RWB A86, gold will be the color that comes up the most
I
because
think it will. I think,
it
yeah.
sort of fits with the. I don't know whether that was what they came out in, and or the most famous ones were gold, whatever it was. But yeah, you'll definitely see gold as the most common color.
Yeah, definitely a hot piece from Pop Race releasing soon.
Yeah, yeah. Now, mate, you posted a reel recently with the Pagani Zonda. Now, I pre ordered that and I'm pretty sure that it said something about next year. And yet, somehow, you have your hot little hands all over one. What's the
Yeah.
story there, mate?
Yeah, so Pop Race have obviously recognized the Diecast podcast, up and coming podcast, and they've sent out a sample piece of the Pagani Zonda R, the one we talked about last show. So this is an up and coming release, removable front end, removable engine cover from the rear, same as the Mazda 787B and the McLaren CLK GTR that we've seen. And I can say full carbon body, removable front, removable back. The bang for buck that you get out of this car for, this is going to release as a, max 25 US, 40 Australian dollars car. It is absolutely insane. The details on this thing, the carbon fiber that covers the body, the engine details, yeah, it's crazy. And, for Pop Race to release three of these kind of cars in succession, this one may be, it's not my favorite car, but the details and what they've done to it, it's absolutely incredible. So yeah, you've seen it here first on the Diecast podcast, a sneak peek of the Pagani Zonda R, and we'll put a video up for everyone to have a look at it.
It really does look every bit as amazing as the initial release photos. When you remove that rear engine cover, the suspension detail, the engine detail, just the whole piece is they've done an outstanding job. And to your point as well, price wise, absolute bargain. It really is. For that sort of dollars, like you think about what you buy in so many other brands. Yeah, in comparison, it really is bang for buck. I honestly expected this thing to be at a much higher price point than perhaps other pop race models. It's slightly higher from memory, but certainly not enough to deter me. I've pre-ordered
Yeah,
it straight away.
Yeah, you're only looking at a couple of extra dollars to get your
Mm,
hands on this over a regular pop race piece. But you look at other brands. There's Motor Helix that do, Inu do pieces that have removable parts now. I mean, a lot of diecast brands are trying to step up the game because they know it's the future. Price wise, there's no one that's competing with the quality and the detail for bang for buck that Pop Race are producing, and to pump three amazing cars out in a row. Obviously, still waiting on the 787B to be released and the Pagani, but they are coming. And yeah, both cars are incredible. So don't miss out on them. Like the CLK Mercedes, you can't pick the original release up anymore, and it is at an inflated price. And yeah, if you miss these ones, you'll be paying a lot more for them in the future. So that is my advice.
I still pull that Mercedes out every now and again just to have a look. It really was an amazing casting. The 787 and the Pagani are anything like that one. It's they're not going to be easy to get down the track. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
Anyway,
Yeah.
anything else from Pop Race?
I think that's about it from Pop Race. But talking about moving parts, and I thought we'd highlight a brand that we haven't talked about much lately, and I'm talking about Tomica, and in particular Tomica Limited
Yeah,
Vintage Neo. Have you got any in your collection?
I do not. However, I have ordered some.
Nice. So, in my view, Tomica Limited Vintage Neo, it's obviously the top end that Tomica do. Very popular brand in Japan. However, it doesn't seem to filter out, especially into Australia, too much. And there is one car in particular that we both love, the Ferrari F40. It was out for
Mm,
pre-order quite a while ago, but I think we're expecting to have it in December-ish. And I know it is the second time they've released the F40, but I do know the
yep.
first release. Um, you were before this one came out, you were looking at on the second-hand market around the $300-400 mark to get hold of one. So it may be one that has slipped past the keeper for a lot of people, and a brand that people don't look at a lot, but a very nice example of the Ferrari F40 coming very soon.
Mm, absolutely. Yeah, I think it was you that got me onto the fact that it was being re-released. I was looking at them on the second-hand market because I was really keen. Obviously, love the F40. Really keen on having one of these in the collection. Heard really good things about them. Thank God there was a second release because I didn't purchase one on the secondary market at that crazy price. Although I was considering it, I genuinely was considering it. I thought I'll just save up because I've got to have one of these in the collection. It'll just end up being the grail. But yeah, second release, I presume it'll be the same, casting just with the same sort of detail and all those sorts of things. Very much
Yeah.
looking forward to seeing it hopefully soon.
Tomica Limited Vintage Neo, just in general, I think it is quite an underrated brand. It is a little more pricier, especially coming from
Mm,
Japan, but I think similar to Hobby Japan, they do a lot of sort of more stock style cars, and quite a few sort of irregular cars that you won't see anywhere else, sometimes with minifigures and accessories. But yeah, for me, a very underrated brand. I have a few, I don't have a lot, but it's something I'm definitely looking to add a lot more to my collection.
yeah, I see them, on social media and things like that from various content creators. And every time I see them, I just think, wow, amazing detail. But the one thing that sort of holds me back from purchasing more of them is the price. They are a very expensive model, and look, rightfully so. I'm not even going to argue that they should be cheaper. They're an amazing model, super detailed. Some would argue, arguably, some of the amongst the highest detail that you could purchase. And so certainly worthy of that high price point. But yeah, generally, as I mentioned earlier, you've only got so much that you could spend on diecast before the missus starts beating you. No, but there's only so much you can spend, and so if you grab one of these things regularly, it takes up a fair bit of that diecast budget. I use the word budget loosely.
Absolutely.
Mate, I just wanted to quickly touch base on Tarmac Works, if I can. Tarmac Works
Absolutely.
released 8 new cars. Now, I wanted to bring this up because we spoke about last time they released a Vertex Aristo, and that was in the silver. They've brought it out again in the red. So, of course, I famously said on that episode that I'll order every colour. So, of course, I ordered the red as well. I do like it in the red. Yeah, in fact, probably I like it in the red more than the silver, I think.
Can I also just point out the fact that Tarmac Works have made a promise to you as well, I believe.
They did see our podcast reel and made a comment that noted that yours was blue. I guess we'll have to do a blue one. So Tarmac Works, I am very much looking forward to that promised blue. But yeah, no, that was pretty cool. There was a Porsche 911 Le Mans style from what was it? I think it was the 1975 Le Mans. Off the top of my head, they had a Koenigsegg in there, the 1-1. They had a Mercedes F1 car from 2023, I think it was. They had the Coca-Cola Santa truck. Do you remember this ad?
Yeah, I do remember this ad. Yeah.
Which I thought was cool. But what I really liked was there was 3 more releases that were all done in black and white. And I don't think there'd be a heap of people that would know of Joshua Vides. Do you know of Joshua Vides?
I don't, and this is obviously where you're going to lead to. And I did look at these cars and think to myself, what have they done here?
Yeah.
Cartoon, comic style black and white cars with non-see-through windows, and I thought, oh, what is this? But you're about to enlighten me. I don't think you're going to change my mind in the fact that I won't be picking them up.
I probably won't. But this guy, Joshua Vides, is an artist, and he will design an entire room with real life cars, and they're all drawn like this, and so it makes the entire room look like it's been hand drawn. You have to look him up on Instagram and see what I'm talking about. But I have been a fan of his artwork for a while. I just think he does an amazing job. I don't know how he gets all the lighting and shadows and all that sort of stuff right, that when you stand back and look at the entire room, it looks like somebody's just drawn a picture of in front of you. But yeah, okay. Really cool, something different. And I know this will certainly in the diecast space, there'll be a lot of people potentially like yourself that don't know of Joshua Vides and look at these and go, what the? But as soon as I saw them, I knew what they were, only because I'd followed this guy for a fair while. Big fan of his art. I think it's amazing how he can, how he can get this, how he does what he does, really, and it's very unique. I think it's very unique art. So yeah, he's done it with quite a few 1-of-1 scale cars. My understanding is it takes him quite a long time to complete the art piece. But yeah, big fan of what he's done. So Tarmac Works have teamed up with him and doing a bit of a collab. And they've released the RWB 993, the Toyota Supra, and the Vertex S14 Silvia. So being a fan of Joshua's work, I had to support this collab and pre-order those 3. So look, I guess if you don't know the art, then you probably won't appreciate it, and I certainly understand that. But if you do, I think you will appreciate what Tarmac Works have done here.
I'll get you to send me the link, and I'll be sure to check it out.
Yeah, I will.
Sounds interesting.
I will. Yeah, it's just very different. I've never seen anything quite like it. So yeah, I just thought that was really cool.
Nice. Well, what do you think? I think that might be a wrap for today. I think we're running out of time.
Mate, yeah, we have, what are we, 1 hour and 15 so far. So I think we might have to wrap it up. There was quite a bit released in the last 2 weeks. The November pre-orders have all streamed in. But yeah, some pretty exciting stuff. I was, I'm officially broke. Right before Christmas. Perfect. Actually, one thing I should say is the next time when this podcast drops, people will probably go, why aren't you talking about the Australian Diecast Expo? Weren't you going to that? We're recording this prior to the Australian Diecast Expo. So I'm sure we'll talk about it on the next one. But
Absolutely.
yeah.
I'm looking forward to hearing on what I'm missing out.
Yes. You are missing out, my friend. You're missing out. I really wish you would have come over for it. Would have been good.
It would have been. But like I said, I hope you enjoy it. Have fun. I'm sure it'll be a great event. Looking forward to hearing the stories and hearing about the cars that are released there.
Yeah, no, it should be good. It should be good. A lot of collectors and things coming over for it and things like that. So it'd be really good to catch up with them and see a few familiar faces that you usually just see on the screen. So that looking forward to it. But anyway, mate, look, shout out to everyone that's been checking out the podcast. Massive thank you. Love the feedback that's coming through as well from different people with different suggestions and just little tweaks on things that they think that we could do to make it better. It's really good. Keep it coming.
Should we throw it out there while we're here and just say we might add a new segment. If anyone has a question, topic that we'd like us to cover off on, put it in the comments and we might choose one question / topic every week to quickly touch on. Could make it something fun for us to cover off on.
Yeah, good idea. I really like that. Yeah, please put an idea, put a topic in the comments, and Ben and I will probably argue about it, about which topic that we would like to cover. But yeah, we'll pick one each week, and yeah, I reckon that'd be a good segment for sure.
Awesome, sounds great.
All right, mate. Well, I'll catch you on episode 5.